If we can't talk to each other, we're not gonna make it.
Sometimes I feel like I've bitten off more than I can chew.
Most of the time, I work in a glass jar and lead a very uneventful life.
A face full of glass hurts like hell when you're in it.
That's weird. That glass looks half full to me.
Eating glass.
Eating glass and staring into the abyss.
Glass? Who gives a shit about glass? Who the fuck is this?
It's kind of part of our culture to eat glass.
Gotta get some safety goggles next time.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Chewing Glass, the show where we talk to Solana developers who have been building in the Solana ecosystem. We talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Today we have our very first and very special guest, PaulX. PaulX is actually the creator of the Escrow program, the Solana Escrow program. This program actually saved a lot of lives over the months. Back in the day, all that existed was docs.solana.com and the PaulX escrow tutorial, sometimes referred to as the Solana Bible. How's it going, Paul?
Yeah, hi. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm doing great.
Yeah, it's really great to have you. So just for context, like Paul and I met probably about 6 months ago or 5 months ago when I first joined. I was writing a getting started blog post. I found out about the escrow tutorial. I wanted to talk to Paul to get some feedback and kind of really just kind of get my bearings about me for what's going on in the Solana ecosystem. And also more recently, had a chance to catch up with him in Lisbon unexpectedly. So that was pretty great. I guess we're just going to dive right in. So I guess the first question I got for you, Paul, is when did you get into blockchain?
First of all, I really enjoyed Lisbon and as well, and seeing it there. Very cool. Just in general, the whole conference, it's really quite an experience. I think I'm an undergrad in computer science, so but I'm just like and I'm in my second year right now. So like last year, I was in my first year, and I felt like I had been working for like a year already, or actually 2, I think, just, part-time next to university, but just regular full stack engineering. But I kind of got bored. I wanted something more challenging, and I knew about crypto, so I thought that that would be an interesting area to explore. And so that's what I did. I explored and yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, like that's kind of me. I kind of dove in about 2017. My first crypto purchase started kind of building around like 2018. Just out of curiosity, what was the first crypto that you ever purchased? The people want to know.
Bitcoin, most likely. I don't remember, but if I had to guess, it would have to be Bitcoin. If
it was 3 years ago or longer, I think most people's probably like really Coinbase, like for at least for us in the US, was it, and there was only 3 at the time.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think
I remember. Oh yeah, I actually remember how I bought them. It was actually done through like not through like an order book exchange, but just like a message board in Germany.
My Local Bitcoins, was that the one?
Yeah, maybe something like that. Someone just posted, and then you sent the money to their private bank account, and they sent you the Bitcoin.
Yeah. One of my friends did. One of my friends did the same thing. I was like, "You did what?" Okay. So I guess the next question, just to now that we got when you got interested in the space out of the way, like when was when and how did you find out about Solana? Because like being so early and writing the first tutorial, you were here before a lot of people. So I guess how did you find out about it?
I don't remember exactly when. I know that Serum hadn't launched yet. So I think it was about a month or 2 before Serum launched. Yeah, like I said, I wanted to explore the space, and I'm an engineer. I want to build things, and so I looked for. I looked for platforms to build on, and Right. The obvious choice was obviously Ethereum, but I wanted to build something that I could play around with, and I couldn't really do that on Ethereum because it still is so expensive. So that just wasn't really an option for me. So I looked around, and layer twos also weren't a thing. Like they weren't live yet, and
Right.
there's only so many options then that are left that are that are legit, right? I mean, obviously the 2017 chains, they're still there, but wasn't like I wanted to explore the new ones, and I just wanted to get started. So I basically just looked up which chains were there, and I looked for like a chain that seemed to have like a legit team and legit tech, and something that was actually live and working. And Solana was that, and so that's sort of how I got started. And
Cool. So like, what was the first thing you looked at when you found out about Solana? What was it? Was it the core innovation articles, or was it just going straight to the documentation at the time?
it was the white paper and the articles, but the articles are not that detailed. It's only an introduction, and the white paper also isn't that detailed. But at the time, I was, because I was relatively early, I could just there weren't that many people in the Discord. So
How many? Just curious, how many at the time were in there?
Oh, I'm not I don't have a number. I just remember that there were like a couple of regulars, right? That were asking questions. Like one of them was like Daffy from Mango, and Smith. But like the point is, you could talk with the Solana team relatively easily in the dev support channel, and you'd get answers quickly. So we just chatted, and that's sort of how I learned, and that's also how I got much of the knowledge to write the blog post, and just the docs. But at the time, the docs are better now, but still lots to work on. And at that time, there was just talking with the Solana team about the docs really helped.
Yeah, so I knew Daffy was in there. I knew for these other guys, everybody's listening to you talk about the state of the documentation at the time. I'm sure there's a lot of people who have a lot of words and a lot of grievances from back in the day, whenever there's really at that time really only the documentation. But one of the other big things that the feedback since I joined, which I found out about Solana and probably sometime in August, September, October, something of last year. And everybody I've talked to really just talks about how the dedicated support was really the way that they made their way through navigating Solana. Just the Discord, it's still that way today. We actually have some more developer relations in there outside of core engineering, but they kind of saved the day just to get some of those early movers like you over the hump. I guess I agree. One thing I would really be interested to know is so you found out about Solana, you're in the Discord, you're trying to play around, and then all of a sudden you were like, I'm going to write this escrow tutorial based off of all this stuff. Was that kind of how it worked out? And what made you decide to do the escrow program in general?
It turned out to be a little bit of a bigger project than I thought in the beginning. So I think it took about 1 or 2 months to write, and I still updated it regularly. But so that was one reason. I thought it wouldn't be that large, right? So I could just write something rather quickly. But also it's just an effective learning method, right? I mean, if you want to learn something, explain it to someone else. That's right. That's a good way to learn. So that's kind of what I was thinking, and I think that was basically it. Yeah, I didn't expect it to be like what it became, to be honest.
It became a lot. It's actually still probably one of the most accessed tutorials that we have. I guess maybe for the smart contract side, there are some people just like you that kind of learn by doing and learn by teaching. So we're kind of escalating the lots of new content being built. We just kind of launched this thing called the Solana Cookbook, which is kind of lots of code snippets for TypeScript, the CLI, and Rust.
I saw that.
We just did that 2 days ago, and there's already so many contributors that like, and a lot of these guys like, I want to try this, but I don't know how to do it. And we're like, it doesn't matter. Like, this is where you learn. You learn by teaching. So I think we're super lucky, like, to have people like you exploring new tech, writing things for other people, because I don't, like you said, you had no idea in the beginning what this would turn into. I mean, it's probably, in all reality, it's probably been, that document's probably been accessed tens of thousands of times at this point. Like, definitely thousands, probably into
it's maxing out my Netlify personal plan. I have 100 gigabytes. I have 100 gigabytes a month, and it's hitting, like, it's very close to the limit now.
That's
so
actually,
if you know how big a website is, and you have 100 gigabytes, then you know how many views. Like, you can sort of calculate how many views it gets each day.
That's actually incredible. I had no idea. I knew it was a lot, but yeah. So again, like, I think a lot of people are going to thank you. Whenever I finally found out about the escrow program, which was when I actually ended up reaching out to you, it was a little bit later after I started. I somehow hadn't seen it, and I started sharing it with somebody who was like, I need to make some sort of escrow program. And then I shared the tutorial in like this ecosystem Telegram group I was in, and everybody just jumped in. They were like, that's the Solana Bible. And I was like, everybody knows. They're like, yeah, we all know this. They were like, this is how we all got started in Solana. The thought about like what would have happened if you hadn't written that, I think about this. Like, there might have been a pretty decent number of people that started building, never made it to the Discord. Your tutorial didn't exist, and they just never ended up build. It could be somebody that's actually like a live protocol with billions or millions of dollars of TVL. Right? We don't know. I don't know the answer to that, but it's kind of cool to think about that. Like, you might have had that sort of, and well, you have in a lot of ways. But so what was the most painful part? Like, this is a question I have to ask. Like, did you know Rust before you before you had no Rust at all? So what was the most painful part of this? Because a lot of people, I always thought it was Rust when I first started. Come to find out, for a lot of people, it's not Rust, and it's actually Solana. It's understanding accounts, PDAs, and CPIs. A lot of things that, like, especially coming from ETH, don't make sense because you can't compare the two. Because they're completely different. So just curious on your thoughts on that.
Right. So I knew C from university, so that helped with Rust, but also not that much. But I do think it's true. Like, Rust is not. I don't think Rust is the difficult thing about Solana. Mostly because most Solana programs just don't use a lot of advanced Rust features, right? It's just setting values and probably the more anything with math is probably a little bit complicated, but like, you don't have to like really think about like multi-threading in a Solana program or anything like that, right? So like, the Rust you use for Solana program is pretty simple. So yeah, I would say that, the programming model for Solana is the difficult part, and like, also like, thinking about program architecture and related things is that's a difficult part. And yeah, like, specifically, like, it's a little bit far away now. So like,
right.
And like, so when I remember that time, like, I pretty much remember like a feeling of joy. It was a lot of fun. It's like
I did it. I've made it.
Yeah, it's like you're thrown into like a really like difficult challenge, and doing that it's fun, you know. Just even not like just the process of it is fun, but yeah, like for sure, like PDAs were like a little bit tricky to wrap your head around, and but yeah, you know, you just put in the work, and over time, you'll understand.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be rewarding. Like at the time when we created that escrow program, probably one of the first external people ever to do that, with only probably a handful, like 10 to 20 people in the world that even knows what Solana is, let alone how Solana works. It is pretty cool. I guess another one of the things that we hear a lot about, and honestly, it's kind of been solved. We'll talk about how that's been solved in a way, which is like serialization and deserialization. Most people that build on Solana still have no idea how to do it. There's never really been obviously people use Borscht, but there has been no like guidance to say this is what you should use. A lot of people bring that up, but it's like, This is a feature, not a bug. Nobody wants to tell you, but this kind of leads us into the next thing, which is there is a framework out there that has very strong opinions on how this thing works, and it's called Anchor. And I guess are you using? Number one, are you still developing on Solana? And number two, have you used Anchor?
So yes to both questions, but I'm not building like any bigger programs right now, but I'm actually helping build Anchor now. So
oh wow, you switched sides over there.
So yeah, like no, I think Anchor is great, and it's like important for this. Like I think it's really important for future developers and developers that are on Solana already to that we like improve the framework. And yeah, like I took like a little bit of a break in 2021, but when I came back, Amani asked me whether I want to, help just build stuff, and we sort of thought that it would be a good idea if I come help with Anchor. So that's what I'm doing now, which wasn't really wasn't entirely my intention to work on it that much, but it's a lot of fun. So, so I've just been working on it all the time and thinking about what else we can do to improve it.
Yeah, I mean, like, people love Anchor. There's actually Anchor Maxis out there at this point in time. I've spoken to a few of them.
Yeah, I saw the talk at the conference.
And I mean, it's a strange thing, and not really a strange thing, but I've had a lot of these conversations, like working at Solana Labs. One of the big things that I think about is like, there's just so many things going on right now and different paths to be taken. Like, which's the right one? Like, where do we where does Labs and all these different people that are building out, like, which path should people be taking? Like, yes, I understand, like, in order to scale and grow developers, you're going to need something like an Anchor to be able to onboard people quickly, because it takes away all this having to add all these accounts to every single transaction. Actually, I'm not sure that Anchor abstracts that portion away, but it does abstract a lot of the underlying work, like the serialization and a lot of these things that you don't have to think about a lot of the hard stuff, which is great. Frameworks are great, but also on the other side of that, you still need these like base layer engineers that can understand what happens underneath, so that they can actually come and help fix Anchor. Because I'm assuming if you never did what you did, you wouldn't be very effective helping build Anchor right now, if you hadn't like kind of suffered through like the pitfalls of just building Rust Solana native. Like, maybe I'm wrong, but
yeah, Yeah, no, this is something that I've been thinking about as well, and I do think that if your plan is to deploy like a protocol and you expect it to handle hundreds of millions of dollars, you should have people on your team that could write the same program in just regular Solana code. And if you can't do that, then you should probably not deploy right now, but go back and study it a little bit more. But that said, sure, like it helps people raw Solana programming helps people understand Solana, but then like they should move away. Like eventually they I can't tell you what you should do, but I do think it would be a good idea to move to Anchor. But like it depends on your specific use case. There are cases when maybe like a raw Solana program is better, but like for most programs, Anchor will work fine, and it will take a lot of work. It will do a lot of work for you, so you can focus on the things that really matter to your application, right? Like if you don't have to think about like there are different kind of exploits, right? Like sure, right? You can like there are exploits that are sort of Solana specific, where you forget to check an owner of a program, right? So you forget to check the owner of an account, and that's something that's very Solana specific, right? And that thing Anchor can prevent for you, right? But what Anchor can't prevent is, more complex interactions with other protocols, and maybe there's something wrong with your tokenomics, or just generally your actual idea that's independent of Solana. So it allows you to spend more time focusing on that, which I think is very good.
Yeah, I guess kind of the takeaway from that is that if you are managing tons and tons of money, your core engineering team should probably understand how all this stuff works. And like I know that some of these other bigger protocols like Saber and PsyOptions and they all started out Solana native because Anchor didn't exist, but over time starting to add more features using Anchor, probably saving them lots of times. I've heard the term that Anchor, once you learn it, you can probably 10x your development speed or capacity. I mean, obviously that's kind of subjective, depends on who you are.
Right.
But like your recommendation would be like, if you're coming onto Solana, you're not building this big protocol and you just want to start working and not worry about all these like exploits and things, and you just want to build something really cool and a lot faster than normal, then just kind of jump on to Anchor and get started. And if you decide to become a big protocol, maybe think about finding somebody who actually understands like Rust and some of the base knowledge. Right.
Yeah. I mean, this is. I think this is more or less true with any like programming language or framework. Like if you want to be like an okay or like close to good engineer, just do the framework, right? But if you want to do great things, and you want to know what to do when something goes wrong, right? And you want to know how to debug that. And you can really only do that if you understand what the framework actually does for you.
Yeah, I think a good analogy for a lot of people who are probably watching this, because you're on the back end side. I don't know if you do much of the Web3 or the front end stuff, but you can kind of like make the analogy. Maybe it's not one-to-one, but like JavaScript. Like once you don't necessarily want to try to go start building React applications unless you understand how JavaScript works, because like when you get some errors and you don't understand some of the low level like JavaScript stuff, you might have a really painful experience trying to figure out what is actually wrong. I mean, I'm sure React is probably intuitive enough now to kind of like help get you through that, but if you know JavaScript, you're probably going to get things resolved a lot quicker. And it's kind of the same thing, I think.
Right. Even if you just, you can go deeper than that and say like, you're going to have a better time at like overall if you know what the actual computer is doing underneath, right? Like what lies below that. Like if you understand what the computer is actually doing for you, like why like what is the stack, for example, right? Like that's not really necessary to like get started with JavaScript or Rust even, but like if you want to really understand things more deeply and learn how to fix things when they go wrong, it's probably a good idea to also learn how a computer works.
Yeah, there's actually been people recently that I spend a lot of time on Twitter kind of just like banging the drum about Solana, trying to get people to FOMO out of their Web 2 jobs to come to Web 3. And there's people that have zero development experience that'll reach out. They're like, how do I start developing on Solana? Like if I have no development experience, like almost like not even try to jump from nothing to React. They're trying to jump from nothing to Solana. And my response is like, honestly, if you don't learn some architectural basics and just building programs or like learn a JavaScript or a Python, you almost have a 0% chance of success rate of building something on Solana. And if you are successful, it's probably not going to be very safe. So it's kind of irresponsible to tell somebody to go from 0 to Solana and skipping everything in between. Like I said, I don't think that you're going to have to be some sort of gigabrain to ever even make that leap. But it's probably possible in some world, but
yeah, like if I were to start from 0, I don't think I would try to like have launch my own protocol 1 month into my learning journey. I don't think that's a very good idea. But like if I'm really interested in this space, then I can still start doing work. I can still contribute from very early on. Like not everyone needs to you don't have to launch your own protocol to start learning and to start contributing, right? There's a ton of work to do on the open source projects in Solana, or maybe you can have an internship somewhere where you don't work on the core code, right? The actual program, but you can get sort of familiar. You can get acquainted with like the industry and the people, and that way you can build up the knowledge and already be in the ecosystem and without touching critical code. And over time you'll be able to do that as well.
Yeah, and I mean, like, to that point, like just the Solana, it's not even just Solana. There's other blockchains as well, but I'm more like familiar with the Solana community, and like it's super welcoming, especially the developer community. And if you want to get involved, and you're a developer and you find a protocol that you really like, go into their Discord, start asking questions, then start helping people, then start thinking about maybe like going and fixing a syntax issue in a GitHub repo. It doesn't matter. It can be the tiniest thing in the world. Right. Just keep doing that. Next time a little bit like stronger. But when people reach out to me from Web 2 to Web 3, they're like, hey, I want a job. How do I get into this space? I'm like, get involved. Right, make a tool that everybody wants to use, give to the community, go contribute to a repo. Like now my go-to is going to be like, go write a recipe in the Solana cookbook and I'll help you out here. I'm kind of just joking here. But like, anyways, it's just like the people that in this space, it's different. They're not looking on LinkedIn. They are looking for people that just go out and just get shit done. Right. And that's what everybody's doing. And it's kind of incredible.
Right. And like also, like if you really want to do this, and then you of course and you start from 0, like of course you can't take an entire degree in like 1 or 3 months, but there's so much you can learn from online, and just so many courses that you can just take for free, and you can basically, if you just learn like really all the time in your first, 6 months, like you're going to be fine to at least get a job somewhere. I think in crypto.
Yeah, for sure.
Really
Like
put in the work.
it's really just about passion and motivation and just persistence, and you just keep going at it. If you really want it, you're going to eventually get it. And I think like that's the kind of like the point that I keep trying to make to people. Like everybody working in this space, it didn't happen by chance. They weren't just lucky. It's because like they were like, I want that job. I want to get in here, and they did it. I get like messages that make me feel really good about like what I do. Is I'll get messages. I've gotten a couple from, at least one from Phantom and some other places. They'll get a message down the line like a month later. It's like, thank you so much. I just got hired at Phantom. And I was like, I've talked to thousands of people. Like when was this conversation? And then I would look back and I'm like, oh my God, man, I'm so happy for you. And it's like, it's great because those people took the advice. I know that they listened to what I said, took the advice, just hammered it down, started contributing. And then the next thing you know, like they're working on, like, in my opinion, the greatest UX wallet there is. But like that remains, it's pretty good. So yeah, it's been a wild experience for a lot of people. Things are not slowing down anytime soon. We just had 530 some people in our latest hackathon. If the next one's any more than that, like I don't even know what I'm going to do with myself doing dev relations. But like as our content gets better, and things get a lot like compared to 2 hackathons ago when there was not like hardly anything, basically PaulX and then a couple resources, now to like having a lot more community content. People were asking less questions in Discord. Anchor is actually taking a lot of people out of the Solana Discord and plucking them into there, which has been a nice relief. Thank you, Armani. That's been beautiful. But then there's just a lot more people. The more people that you help get over those big humps of Solana, the more people that they help out, and then that just kind of just keeps growing. And like I can't even put a number on it, but like the Solana developer community has been like super. It's huge. And I guess the final question that I wanted to ask you is probably like, I wanted to do this show specifically to just talk about people's experiences, where they came from, where they are, how they got there, just so that people out there watching can like get some inspiration and motivation on like to make the jump. There's a lot of people that are literally right there on that cliff of Web 2, just like every day being like, I got to do it. And then they don't do it. So like, hopefully just talking to people like you, maybe Armani, wink, wink, at some point in time. And, that they'll just make that jump. So you've already did a lot of work with the escrow tutorial. Hopefully, this interview also has a similar impact. I guess do you have any like words of advice for Solana devs that are just getting started, or just something like you made the jump into the space? You were in university. You were like, I'm kind of bored with like this stuff. This thing looks cool. Like any words of advice to some younger developers out there?
Like the first and most obvious one is to just get started. Don't you can like, you don't have to like go full time on this immediately, right? You can just get started with something, so you can see whether it works for you, but get started. And I think like once you do that, like, I'm not sure like if I have like really general advice for people. It really depends on the person, but like once you get started, contribute to the ecosystem and talk to people, like to anyone. To me, my DMs are open, Twitter and Discord, and many others you can talk to as well. Like if you need specific advice, that's more tailored to your background. But yeah, like in general, the way I think about it is like the way I think about crypto in general is that it's still quite early, and we need a lot of experiments, and we need experiments on all layers of the stack. So like layer 1, layer 2, like maybe like the DAO layer above that.
Maybe design and UX.
yeah, like everything, right? We need to do those experiments. So like if you have crazy ideas, like now might be a good time to try and explore them, because like there's lots of money in crypto right now. You can probably get funding and support from people because crypto is very welcoming, and like experiments are really good for the space to push it forward, because who knows where we will be in like 5 years. Like I don't even like just thinking about that. I have no idea. But like the way we push this thing forward is to try a lot of different things. And like again, that like I'm not even saying like you should necessarily go to Solana, but you should at least, like if you want to push the space forward, join an experiment like that you think pushes the space forward, and that will already be like very, very good for all of us, and hopefully yourself as well. Like Solana specific is pretty much the same advice. Get started, talk to people, build programs as soon as possible to learn how it all works. And then again, like if you think there's gaps in documentation, like write stuff or like make videos or something like that. That at least that has helped me understand the programming model much better, and it also helps others. So that's great. Like really, most of it is just putting in the work every day, and grinding.
You mean eating glass and chewing glass and all that fun stuff?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But get started.
Yeah, I think you touched on something that I didn't really touch on, which is actually huge. And like part of my job in general is just to help grow the community. And the way that I do that is by like opening up my DMs to everybody. I'll literally talk to anybody if you're interested in this space. Like I probably get probably 80 to 100 every day. I wake up in the morning. I go through all of them, filter out the NFT drop.
Every day.
I filter out the NFT drop requests that I usually like take about 30% of those. But anyways, like this community is welcoming. Like if you have a question, don't be scared. Like reach out to somebody. Follow a couple accounts that seem pretty active. I actually created a list on Twitter called Solana Developers. All you have to do is follow that list, and all the alpha is right there for you. Start DMing every single one of those people, including myself. The community portion is huge. It's probably one of the greatest superpowers that Solana actually has right now. Getting involved, like you said, YouTube videos, like this NFT space is blown up. There's people that aren't devs. They're starting podcasts. They're just participating. And like, it's like with this whole new world, we're getting the chance to kind of reinvent in my personal view, there's probably some disagreement out there. Like we're getting to reinvent the internet in a way. And so you're talking about these experiments, like get out there and experiment, and like maybe you come up with something that nobody else has thought about doing on blockchain yet. And it could just like, it could change your life. And I'm not talking about just financially, like you could just go into this trajectory of where like, this is where you were kind of meant to be the entire time. And I've seen a lot of people say that. They're like, were unhappy until they actually got into Web3, where we all work a lot, but we love it. But anyways, yeah. Paul, like, thanks so much for joining. I know now that you're a full-time anchor maxi, like I'm surprised you had time to meet on me here. Just kidding. But yeah, thanks for joining. I really appreciate it. Thanks for the escrow tutorial. Thanks for building on Anchor and continuing that. Just generally thanks for everything. And thanks to everybody for watching. So we'll just check everybody later. Bye.
Thanks for having me.